everyone, good morning. So in this very first topic of introduction of Power BI, we will be basically discussing about what's the requirement of Power BI, why Power BI came into pictures, and different pros and cons of Power BI, what's the different type of licensing in Power BI, each and everything. Like we are going to start from the very scratch, like what kind of things that are responsible for making this tool as a very popular right there in the market in last few years. So, in this very first volume of Power BI, let's start with the agenda. So, our very first agenda would be why to choose Power BI. So, this is a widely, you can say, a very popular questions right there in the market. Like instead of many other tools right there in the market, like Tableau, ClickSense, ClickView, and many other strategic and reporting tool, why we choose Power BI? So there are multiple facts and figures that collectively responsible for making this tool as a very popular one right there in uh, reporting tool and analytics part in the market in terms of data analytics. So the very first thing is the pricing. So if you talk about any other tool like the licensing cost of Tableau or any other respective tools, they cost a very uh, you can say higher amount as compared to that of the pricing that is involved with Power BI. The fact is mainly with Power BI, it's not only about the package that they offer for this particular tool, that's the Power BI desktop tool, but they also give you the collective package of Power BI service, Power BI desktop, the Microsoft Office 360 and Azure like services. So they have a collective tools, they have a collective combo package with the help of which they can easily sell their maximum products right there to the corporate industries, and that particular things are not available with other tools or technologies like Tableau. That's why their costing is comparatively hard. Coming to the concept like why why Power BI, what is Power BI? So before directly jumping into Power BI, we would have to understand the history of Power BI, like what actually it is all about. So if I can say, it is mainly designed in the very beginning of, you can say, 2010. The objective of this particular tool is not to develop any reporting tool but to enhance the services of Office 365. So I'm expecting that each and everyone are aware about the Office 365, because that's a collection of Microsoft tools like your Excel, PowerPoint, PPTs, the Word, each and everything collectively called together as Office 365 tool. So objective at the very beginning of this project is to develop or enhance the strategic involvement of Office 365. So they named that project as Project Carcent, and in and this project was initially available for, you can say, public domain for downloads on 11th of July 2011. But later on, this project was named as Power BI because they observed that the things that they are introducing right there into Power BI or into this project Crescent, is highly being used as an analytics part, means in data analytics and visualization part rather than any other domain. So the public version of that particular Power BI was released on 24th of July 2015, and after that this version is not only released for the desktop part, they released the same version with the web part and the mobile apps part. We will further discuss about what's the web part, that is usually called as Power BI services, and mobile apps, that is called as Power BI mobile. We'll discussing about these factors later on. Coming to the one of the very interesting fact, that is called Gartner Magic Quadrant. So Gartner is basically a software reviewing company. I hope everyone heard about that company. So that company usually on quarterly, half yearly and annually basis release some sort of reports by going through the review and analysis and the surveys conducting internally to ensure that and to release the figures like which particular tool and technology is going to be popular or is currently popular right there into the market. So in terms of data analysis and visualization, they analyze that Power BI is currently a most popular and most demanding tool right there in the market since 2019. So if you can uh, go through the Gartner's official website, you will find that Gartner's Magic Quadrants have their scoreboard, and at the very top of the leaderboard, the Power BI is at the very top, and the runner-up is your Tableau. So this is how the whole you can say the history of a Power BI is defined right here. Now coming to the option like why to choose PBI. As I already told you, the pricing model. So since the pricing model is the very first factor that defines like why Power BI is highly demanding in nature. At the same time, if I can say, it's also user friendly. User friendly, I mean to say, if you go for any other tool like Tableau, that is sometimes very tough for a beginner level, for a beginner person to understand the concepts of Tableau, because the UI UX you can say, or the user interface and user experience of Power BI is comparatively more easier for a beginner, for a person who start their career in analytics into Power BI. Coming to the third approach or the third pointer, that is called cloud-based architecture, means that it is not only a software that run on on-prem but also have multiple option and availability right there into the market like Power BI services, Power BI apps. Currently, they also introduce a service called Microsoft Fabric. So with the help of Fabric, they have a vast background where they cover a large amount of tools and technology collectively to club together and merge together into a single set of domain. Like we can consider Microsoft Power BI first, then Dataverse is there, then Microsoft Synapses tool is there, then real-time analytics is there, data engineering is there, data warehousing is there. Each and everything are clubbed together in the environment of Microsoft Fabric. We will cover this topic in our later session, like how the Microsoft Fabric changed the domain or changed the nature of work in data analytics and visualization environment. Okay. Then coming to the very first thing that is usually also a very first question right there in terms of interview point of view also, like what is Power BI? What do you understand about PBI? So PBI is basically in general terms you can say a reporting and analytics tool right there in the market that is widely being popular with respect to its interactive UI UX and easy to understandability. Also in terms of you can say the connectivity, it is easy to connect with any other specific tool right there in the market. So that's not only specific to a single domain, but we have multiple things right there in the market that that is being you can say in which Power BI basically overlap these things and uh, capture the market at a very vast level right there. Just like I personally observed that it's not only specific to what I can say Excel, but their Microsoft team are basically driving to make this tool as popular as Microsoft 365, because nowadays 365 tools like Office, Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft uh, PowerPoints, each and everything are very vital in nature and widely being used in our day-to-day work. In the similar way, they are designing that particular product Power BI in such a way that the user can easily digest each and everything, consume the things, and can work easily on this particular tool. Okay, so Microsoft has MS Excel, then why Power BI? That's also one of the you know repeatedly asked questions in the market domain in the in the domain right there in the market. So that is not specific only to Excel, but all other tools like we have WPS, we have Libra files, each and everything right there in the market that is a rival of Excel. But we can say that we on Excel we have a lot of limitation right there in the analytics and reporting domain. We can't create that much level of visualization. We can't perform the DAX operations right there that is being possible in Power BI. We can't do the data cleaning at that level that we have done in the Power Query editor. We have Power BI services through which we can interact, or we can share the reports with the client. We can apply row level security, we can apply gateways. So all these options and opportunities are there in Power BI that is missing in Excel. That's why we can say that it's not only specific to uh, analytics part, but we have a lot of thing that is out of the boundary that we basically receive from Power BI environment. Okay, coming to the another important topic that is widely being asked, like what's the component of Power BI. So usually people come confuse about components and version. So version is completely different thing. First of all, we will come to that particular topic later on, but coming to the components right here. So components are usually of, you can say, 8 different types. Sometimes it would start with the very first thing that is called Power Query. Power Query is, you can say, Power Query editor. In Power Query editor, that's a ETL tool right there in integrated, you can say, with Power BI, that is responsible for cleaning of all the kind of data. And then second one is Power Pivot. So Power Pivot is, you can say, a data modeling tool that is responsible to set up the connection between multiple tables that is coming from different data sets, and establish a link so that we can call any type of value from any specific table that is inside the connection, inside the data model. So that is called Power Pivot. Power View is similar to that particular point, but with the help of Power View we can go through the approach of viewing the things in a tabular format and all. Then we have Power Maps. So maps Power Maps defines the spatial data sets, like what kind of latitude and longitude are we dealing with, what kind of tools and technologies are we going through inside the spatial data. So we will be covering all these things right there into the maps part. Coming to Power Q&A. Q&A is basically question and answer. It's one of a AI tool that is used in Power BI, and it's capable to answer any of the question that is internally being asked with respect to Power BI. So we will be going through the in-depth analysis of all these things in our later session, but I'm just giving the overview of each and everything so that you have some sort of visibility like what actually these things tells you. Okay, Power BI desktop is the one where we are doing all the development related stuffs. The Power BI website is your Power BI service. So that's the platform where we basically publish all our existing reports, all our final version of the reports, so that we can share the whole thing with the stakeholders. So that particular platform provide a visibility for all our stakeholders to see our reports. And Power BI mobile apps, so it's a highly compatible application that can easily being used either on mobiles or on tablets. So it is usually being used whenever we are in the phase of traveling, we don't have the accessibility of desktop or service, but we want to see our dashboards. So in that way we can see that these are all the components or compositions of Power BI in the reporting domain. So that's all from for today. So we will start working through all these topic in a in-depth version in our later session. Thank you.